Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, the lunatic angel, your tsundere streamer who doesn't stream. And out of all the pictures I've made of my OC, I like this version of my original character the best. So, yeah, I like this picture of Lunar, the lunatic angel, which is supposed to be a representation of myself. I like this one the best. These pictures were made with the use of Grok AI. So, I have a few pictures to show you guys. But yeah, I like this one the most. But we'll scroll up real quick. Now that being said, the first four I'm going to show you are the first four I made. This was actually the first one I made. I do have a VTuber model based on this, but it's very low quality, but I still like it. What can I say? I'm grateful for what I have. But yeah, I am Lunar, the lunatic angel. So. But yeah, I like this one quite a bit. So, I don't know if I'll give a rating system. You guys can feel free to rate any of these. Let me know what you think. But I'll say that this is one of the ones that I like the most. There's a few that are like that, but I definitely liked this one. Like this is a 10 out of 10, as was the one I showed you right before this. I also like this one quite a bit. Like I said, when I first did it, I did a round of 4 pictures, and it was these first 4. And like I said, the one I very first showed you at the start of the video, and the first one of these 4, and this one, I think this one's another that's 10 out of 10. I really, really like how this one turned out. But yeah, so I really like this one and this one and this one quite a bit. This is me actually, Now, to be fair, I don't actually have a computer desk and I only have a laptop. So, normally I'm sitting on a metal folding chair. Well, on a pillow on a metal folding chair with my laptop on a external fan on top of a second metal folding chair on top of my bed. However, at the moment, I'm just sitting here naked on my bed, sitting Indian style, with my laptop on top of the external fan on top of a Warhammer book, sitting on my mattress in front of me. So, it's high budget, I know. I mean, technically there's a third metal folding chair in the room. It's got a box fan on it. Everyone's like, oh, normally tables like that come with 4. Yeah, I have 1 chair at my dining room table. So, it's where I eat when I eat my bowl of Raisin Bran cereal. It's like, are you sponsored by Raisin Bran? No. But fiber's important. Oh, so hey, look, I'm a chibi. It's Lunar the chibi. And again, I know I started with this one, but again, I like this picture the absolute most as a representation of me. Now, to be fair, I've told you guys, hey, think of me like Ramada Amamura, or like, think that I look like a Lumi Zoldyck. Heck, I wouldn't be against cosplaying either of the Testament variations, so I prefer the original one more. Though honestly, the only reason I actually am against it is because I'm ugly and fat. So, to be fair, To be fair, I look like an Eldritch Horror, but you guys can imagine I look like this instead. But aside from real world stuff, when it just comes to pure VTuber stuff, you know, I can choose how I want to look, and I like this appearance. I like this design. And I like this picture the most out of all the generated pictures I've made of it. Everything about this picture, I like this picture. I'm choosing to represent myself as this picture and the general feel you get of this picture. You know, look at the backgrounds, the overall build of the character. But yeah, I am Lunar D8, the lunatic angel. This was my take at trying to show me having Hinamizawa syndrome or Hinamizawa syndrome. Heck, there's going to be another Higurashi anime in 2027. It's supposed to have a brand new story to it. I'm looking forward to that. Heck, there's supposed to be another Tenchi Universe anime coming out. So that will be very, very interesting. Okay, next. This is a picture of me, but Ahagao. You guys can tell what's happening. I'm going to drink some of this starry soda. It's like Sprite or 7-Up. Or Sierra Mist. I'm looking forward to Ananta. It's like anime GTA. Also, Dot Hack Zero, a new Dot Hack game, supposed to be coming out next year too. That would be interesting. But yeah, this is just... I made different attempts, trying different types of prompts to try to get unique designs. Though sometimes I feel like Grok doesn't remember how wings attach. Or just the general shape of how wings are supposed to exist. But overall, I like them. I'm wanting to eventually do a karaoke of a Nightcore version of Deutschland. It's a song by Rammstein. But there's a Nightcore version of someone singing that song. Don't remember who the artist is. I mean, obviously Rammstein, but the person who did the cover. There was some woman. I don't remember her name. Heck, it's an AMV. It's still a picture of Tanya from... What was the last one I clicked on? From the saga, Tanya the Evil. So, there's a Nightcore version of that. I think I might try to do a karaoke of that eventually. Also, I want to do, to the best of my ability, an actual cover of the song Beyond the Bounds from the Zone of the Enders 2 soundtrack. But, and I mean, not just the English parts. There's also a lot of gibberish chanting stuff. That's technically a constructed language. That's a mix of Finnish and Japanese. But it's not technically... they still translate to very poetic words, but they're not... If you go to Finland or Japan and start saying these words, no one's going to understand what you're saying. Just saying. But the meaning that they're given with the way the words are constructed, it's actually it's nice. It's kind of like looking up lyrics to a Rammstein song. I feel it's important to know what, the words mean. I might make more of these pictures of you guys. Yeah, I made myself into a video game character. Again, I don't think wings... At that point, the wings aren't really attached to me more, so they're just a logo at that point behind me. Heck, it kind of reminds me of Tenchi and the Lighthawk wings. It's like it can be used as wings, but they can also just detach and, you know, materialize into whatever shape you want. It's like... At some point, it's becoming a Bankai, I guess. But like, it's like, for example, this is technically not how a wing would function in AUA, but I like the way it looks with the rest of the frame, because sometimes by having the wings a different shape in the picture, you can see a different part of the body frame that you normally wouldn't be able to see. And you get a different sort of artistic look of it. And I like the variety. By the way, I made a rage. Anyone familiar with Full Metal Alchemist? This should piss you off. I made a rage bait picture, and it's to test anime tourist. If this doesn't make you angry, I'm sorry, you're an anime tourist. On the left you have Shao Tucker, and on the right you have Maze Hughes. And Shao Tucker is telling Maze Hughes that you are a bad husband and a terrible father. Now, the main question I want to ask all of you of this is, let's say you know everything you know about Full Metal Alchemist. Because like I said, if you watch Full Metal Alchemist, especially both versions of the anime, everything about this picture should make you angry. Like unreasonably angry. And that's for a reason. One, I want you to contemplate how Maze Hughes would feel in this situation. But two is this. Assume that you know everything about both Full Metal Alchemist animes. You've even read the mangas. And let's say in that situation, all the people in Full Metal Alchemist wind up coming back to life. Or at least these two. Because both of these two do die in the course of the anime. Spoilers. But let's say both of them are alive at the end of the anime and you know everything that happened. And you hear this. What do you do? What do you say? Heck, in general, I would say, how about this? What if it was like a reverse isekai? Like wherever you are in the world, let's say these two people come back to life in front of you. And you hear them have this interaction. What do you say? How do you feel? Heck, in general, even if Shao Tucker doesn't even say anything, if Shao Tucker were an actual real person and you were in front of him, what would you say to him? What would you do? Heck, if you were to have Maze Hughes in front of you and he were suddenly alive and you were there with him, what would you say to him? But in particular, the main question I was wanting to ask here was, anyone who was familiar with the story of Full Metal Alchemist and the part that these two people play in the show, what are your personal thoughts on each of these characters? And what would you think about, Shao Tucker saying such a thing to Maze Hughes? Now, also, yeah, just let me know. That's the main question. It was like, one, I just wanted to try to know, one, who is familiar with the story of Full Metal Alchemist? And two, just what are your general takes on these two people and what you would think and feel about these two, what you would say to them, and what would you do if this interaction happened between these two, if you know everything, like let's say you know everything about these two characters from the show. And these two characters are suddenly real flesh and blood. And you hear this said by Shao Tucker to Maze. How do you feel about that? That's my question. And again, I just want to show this one several times just because I really, really like this picture. And again, this picture was made with AI. I got as close as I could to the likenesses of the characters from the anime without, I think, making it look like just a photocopy of the actual character. And again, like some of my, I don't know, like, feel free to comment on any of the pictures. Like, for example, like, I like this one. What do you guys think about this picture of Lunar D8? I might put some links in the description of just various things. Heck, maybe I'll just copy and paste that into the top comment so you guys can click on some odd things. Heck, I think I'll do a few videos where I mention some stuff. But also, I think... Heck, there was a game called Trepang, kind of like Fear at one point. If you guys want to like watch me go around a horror game where I'm just sort of like shooting the wall with an assault rifle and just being... Well, honestly, I would not be a good military person. I do not have the physical or psychological well-being to be fit to do any of that. I would not be good for that. I would not be... Yeah. But yeah, this is... Like I said, these pictures are supposed to be me. Tried going for different vibes and feelings and just trying to convey different things. Though I'd say this, for as much as I try to sound confident and happy in these videos, this picture most accurately describes my emotional state and personality. But yeah, I had fun using the Grok AI to generate these different kind of pictures. Heck, I made a couple videos, lunar topography and lunar discography. The combination of those two videos shows well, at least most of my community posts. I did a lot over the years, so I definitely couldn't scroll through all that. But I at least showed off a good deal of community posts, as well as scrolled through my 4,300 plus videos. You can see the thumbnails and titles and also the playlists. I've had like 600 playlists. I don't know if I have ADHD or autism or borderline personality disorder or depression, but according to every online test, I have really high marks on those. So, at least according to the internet, it's apparently not possible for me to be... I mean, I'm at least... I mean, I don't know if you describe this picture as just high-functioning depression, but hi, welcome to my channel. I am boring and annoying, and... I don't know, I'll make some links of videos I think might be interesting. Like, I played Super Meat Boy. Made like 30 plus parts of that. I beat it by part 9. Cotton Candy Isle like took like some time. I can never remember. Did I already click this? Also, I'm pretty sure I have short-term memory issues. Like sometimes I'll repeat myself and I'll forget that I just said something. And other times I'm just like really distracted. I'm like thinking like 8 different things at a time, and I'm like, I can't focus. Or then I hyperfocus. So, and sometimes I'll just go on tangents and talk about random shit. So, but like I said, I just looking at this, like I like this picture, but at the same time, and again, it's just one, I like the picture. I didn't ask for the wings to be situated where they are. That's not how wings attach to a person. But I will say this, I like that the wings are where they are in that, because then you can see it at a different angle and a different perspective that wouldn't be possible if it was, I don't know, anatomically correct. You can see like the back frame and all that. Heck, if I ever have a demon back, maybe I'll show you guys. Everyone's like, it's like if a Stolfo was a Dragon Ball Z fusion with Jack Hanma and had a demon back. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Here is me. I don't know. You can imagine this is me singing karaoke. Either that or I'm Piccolo yelling at the moon. I like this one a lot too. See, like the little cat paws and dog paws and hearts. It's like, hey guys, you know, for the first time in my life, guys, I can say something about myself. I'm cute. Would you guys hug the angel? But yeah, this is how I choose to represent myself. And here I am being all dark and brooding, like, but it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I like reading like murder mystery movies and reading movies. You guys know what I mean. It's just, hey guys, look, I'm emo and stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure the shoulders are like angled right, and the hands like, and like in the wings, and it's like there's so many things, and even that perspective is like, okay, so am I just like floating up next to the camera here, or am I actually bigger than a mountain? Like, what has happened here? But it's still like I wanted, like, oh yeah, cool, interesting picture, you know. And in some of these pictures, like the color is more purple or black or more red. So it's got some variations. Again, and here's another one. This is nice. Let me get the arrow out so you can actually see. But yeah, this one's good too. It's also meant to be kind of cutie, but like it's different than the other one. I like this one quite a bit. This one's more like a portrait sort of picture. So I really like this picture. And again, let me know your guys' thoughts on any of these. But like, I really like this. I like this one a lot. Okay. And like I said, it's just... And here's a picture of me trying to look like a badass, even though my wings are, probably need to be shifted like a 90 degrees in order to, I don't know, not be killing me, apparently. It's like... Though, all disclosure, I am not a badass, nor am I athletic. Nor do I actually have wings, or the ability to fly, or self-esteem. Or a good sleep schedule. I do have a consistent diet of Raisin Bran, though. Again, I really like this picture the most. And here I am, like, like I'm at a metal concert, like. So. I don't know. For some reason, this just reminds me of Dragon Quest VIII. It's a good game. You guys ever play Star Ocean till End of Time? That's a good one. By the way, like this is sort of take on something like, here's the thing. I have a terrible sense of balance, and I can't ride a bicycle. I go on the bike trail a lot, but it's just me walking and jogging very poorly, and usually more than my body can adapt to without being, sore. But the way I look at it is this. If I was flying in this area, one, I feel like if I was going to fly, I'd have the tendency to accidentally want to fly faster than is safe. But here's the thing. At least if, like, the main thing is this. I'm not scared of the movement or the height so much as I'm scared of accidentally, flying into things that would cause me harm. But I feel like if I'm flying at fast speeds, like up around clouds or, from each of these islands to the other and can slowly, gently land each one, I feel like I wouldn't be scared of that. I feel like I'd be cool, like just drifting and flying through the sky. It's like, again, I think the main thing, like if you're up in the air, that makes it scary is that you don't have any control over it. And also, flying into the ground at Mach 2 would hurt. And heck, even if I was invulnerable like Superman, I'd be worried about accidentally hurting people. But like, I'd be the worst Spider-Man. Granted, I'd be flying around, but the idea is this. Like sometimes Spider-Man like flies and flies. He does the webs and and people are holding on to him and they're kind of fucking freaked out. And he's just like focused on and having a conversation and chill and all relaxed. I'd be the opposite. I'd be flying someone somewhere, and even though I'm the one used to flying, I'd still be freaking out, and the person that I'm giving a ride would be like, hey, calm down. It's like, there's a skyscraper. Like, I'd just be Then again, like, if I could fly like this, and I'd be using powers for like the lamest thing ever. Like, it's like, Lunar, you have the ability to fly a Mach 2 around the planet, and you're invulnerable. What are you going to do with your powers? I'm going to fly around the world to various bike trails and then just walk on the bike trail with my angel wings right behind me. Hopefully they'll have to, like, I don't know, fold them a little bit. Otherwise, the bicyclists passing me are going to drive into my wings or not be able to see each other. I don't know. I feel like it'd be like useful. I could just make him sort of like intangible at will. That way I could, like, I don't know, sit in a car or lay on my back in a bed. Like, I mean, imagine it'd be kind of different. Like, how am I going to get in the shower now? It's like how do I take care of these things? Then again, it's kind of the same thing. I haven't gone swimming in like a decade. Heck, I haven't even worn swim trunks in a decade. But I'll tell you this. I was once trained as a lifeguard. Granted, I never had a six-pack, but I mean, I was able to like swim a mile straight without stopping. I definitely couldn't do that anymore. But I'll say this. If like I could like swim underwater and move really fast, that'd be fun. Again, it's kind of like the flight thing. But again, at that problem, I'm like, okay, am I going to fly too fast and hit a duck? Am I going to swim too fast, like soar through the water like flight, but without actually having to swim, like treat the water like it's air? But then like I run into fish underwater, and it's like, it'd be like the people that ride motorcycles and they're like, there's bugs and stuff. There's downsides. Then there's also just like, what if I hit an underwater like mountain or something, or hit the seafloor? Or what if I go to surface and accidentally hit a boat or a whale? That's like, I feel like, granted, I try to play games that improve my reflexes, but I feel like, and even then, even if I had good reflexes, I feel like it's something I wouldn't want to chance, because even if it's only a 1% chance I fuck up, other people would have to deal with serious consequences. Like, oh, well, 1% chance I fuck up, and now all these people on these boat are going to drown. I'm like, I'm sorry. Then again, if I could just fly around places, like, what are you going to do? I'm going to go fly to Washington, D.C. and stand on the slanted part of the Washington Monument and I would basically aura farm. And then I'm going to just walk around the various museums and stuff. Aside from that, I'm basically just going to be like flying around and being like, what are you doing? I'm looking at pretty scenery and statues in museums. And it's like, you could like do more. I'm like, I guess. I mean, maybe I could like survey a forest or something. Like, hey, guy, like, oh, we have a concern about a forest fire. Okay, I'll fly to find out where that is. Okay, it's over here. Would a cell phone even work up there? Like, if I flew up into the sky and, like, scouted out where a forest fire was, if I was holding a cell phone while flying up in the sky, wouldn't the wind around me alone just make it where no one could hear what I was saying? These are weird questions. These are questions that, one, are just... there's no reason to ask them. But aside from that, what do you guys just think about the overall vibe of this picture? With a lot of things I was kind of going for, you know, an ethereal sort of, like, here's me in outer space. Apparently I'm like Frieza, but slightly gay, so... I don't know, does Frieza like the moon? I feel like me and Frieza wouldn't get along. And again, like, this is not how wings work. But I think it makes the picture look cool for this. I mean, you got the... But at the same time, it's just... eh. Yep. So... yeah, this is also basically me. I'm basically I'm Rimuru. So, half an hour. This is supposed to be a quick thing through all these pictures. This is such... and again, like, this is like if I'm a JoJo character, I'm a Lunar stan. And I mean, me standing in the rain is kind of an ongoing thing. It's me, but extra Japanese. And everyone's like, the wings aren't even trying to be in the right place. I'm like, yeah. I don't know if this is supposed to be Hogwarts back here or what. This is me flying really fast. But you know who's really fast? Apparently the camera guy. I don't know. I think it's probably Peter Parker taking this picture. He takes good pictures of superheroes. Then again, I'm less of a superhero and just a really, really ineffective villain. Like, I don't ever actually hurt anyone. I just go around, talk about my feelings, and eat Dairy Queen. So, I'm like no threat to anybody. Like Lunar in the Absolute Universe, I just go around and I'm like, do you want some Pepsi? And then I talk about trains. It's like I'm gonna just be autistic, I guess. I don't know. It'd be kind of like the Hellraiser thing. Like you open the Levent configuration, get Pinhead. It's not a very fun time. But you open the whatever the cube is that's associated with me, and it's like I show up and I give you stuffed animals and some pizza and some Pepsi and some random PS2 games. And then I try to teach you how to do algebra. and read a random Warhammer book while listening to Sonic the Hedgehog OSTs. So, I mean, yeah, it's just going to be, hey guys, here's a blahaj for you and a cold soda. Also, here's a random, book from Warhammer 40k. It's like, you now have to read the book about Tyranids. Which sometimes I joke that the Tyranid book is like just the wildlife in Australia. Never been to Australia. I imagine I'd have to, like, avoid the scary things like spiders and, I don't know, kangaroos. Apparently there's a really large seal named Neil. Though I'd probably just sit there and talk to him. You know what? That's a thing. That reminds me. If I could ever fly and just go wherever I want in the world, I'd probably go visit the little hippo called Moodang. Also, here's a picture of me driving a car and singing terrible karaoke in that car. I actually did sing a video in my car once a few years ago. It was the worst quality audio ever. If you listen to it, your ears will bleed. Partly because the audio is bad, partly because I'm not a good singer. Here's me, but 5% more gay. And like I said, some of these I tried changing up what I was asking Grok to do with the style. Look at me yell. It's like the least excited. It's like the most bored Dragon Ball Z power-up scene. It's like, oh, he looks bored. What's happening? He's listening to his own Let's Play. We have reached 10% gay. Like I said, some of these I tried to go for a little bit different aesthetic. This is basically what happens when I give random bullshit prompts to artificial intelligence. But I appreciate it because there's no way I could have drawn all this shit on my own. Here is me flying through a rage game. Technically, I want to be the guy, which I've never played because Flash doesn't work on modern computers. But Ultra J-Man's good to go back and watch. This is me standing in a field with some flowers. I guess the main thing to remind you all of is, aside from the once or twice a month I give my mom a 10-second hug, I don't remember what a hug feels like. So, I've never been to an anime convention. I'd probably just cosplay Testament and have a little sign around my neck saying free hugs. By the way, I also made an AI picture of Mary and Jesus. This is what I got now. This next picture, this I did not make. This is an anime style picture of Jesus and Mary that has probably existed for like a decade or so. I do not know who made this, but I just wanted to say I like this picture a lot. I've even used it as a backdrop for one of my pictures. I mean, for one of my videos, like a few months ago. The guy was doing Hail Mary in Latin. very poorly. My Latin is bad. It's very poorly pronounced Latin. But I like this picture a lot, but I did not make it. Now, this picture, I did use AI to make it, which again, technically, I didn't make it. AI made this. This, I have no idea if AI was used for it. I'm pretty sure someone hand drew this. Who did it? I don't know. But I think it's incredible. And it is... I think Jesus would be proud of this. Now, as far as this one I made with AI, I don't know. But I like it still. I think it's good. I used AI to try to make slight variations to a Jesus statue. It wasn't a very pronounced difference. Here is me working out. I am sweaty. I will say this. I don't understand. Like, apparently people go to conventions, they smell bad. Like, obviously I wouldn't like... But I take like 15 showers a week. I like smelling good. I don't know why people wouldn't want to wear like deodorant or take showers and wear cologne. Like, I imagine if I'm going to do something sociable, even as antisocial and tsundere as I am, I would prefer to smell good. Now, that being said, I don't know if I ever have the time, energy, self-esteem, or money to ever afford going to a convention. This is the thing for the Binding of Isaac. It's part of the Bestia mod. Basically, you guys remember Judgment from the Helltaker video game? Yeah. Both of them are pretty cute. I'm imagining them both as futa. Here's me also working out, but wearing more formal clothes and looking like I'm, really just not working out and just there for a photo thing. Here is me lifting weights at a gym. One day, I'll probably look like that. At the same time, I'm considering getting a pizza or some Mexican food. This is a picture of me at a Catholic church. I made a joke about how, joke/reference about, because the sermon, because I've attended lots of different churches, namely, I'm not denominational. I tend to have a general rule. I won't attend the same church more than once in a month, but I do tend to go to church every Sunday. I've occasionally popped into a few Catholic churches. Aside from that, mainly non-denominationals or Methodists or Presbyterians or Lutherans I tend to pop into. I was raised in an apostolic church, but I don't really care for those. Honestly, I would say this. If you're new to Christianity, I would recommend either a non-denominational church or a Methodist church or a Lutheran church or a Presbyterian church. Heck, Episcopalians aren't bad either. But I don't know, in general, I would recommend people stay away from certain churches. Sometimes the people in those churches can be, like I said, I would avoid, prosperity preachers or charismatic gospel churches, charismatic churches. I would avoid apostolics, Baptists, evangelicals, Mormons, Pentecostals, Jehovah's Witnesses. I'd recommend avoiding them. I mean, they're not bad. It's just, I just say I don't want to attend any of those churches. I just don't feel comfortable with them. And I do not personally like how I feel about those churches. Now, the Catholic churches are definitely odd and different in terms of it's something I'm definitely not used to, but there's nothing wrong with them. But yeah, when I went to this one Catholic church, And honestly, the depiction I have right there is the closest depiction to the actual preacher that was speaking in that church, the Catholic priest. That's actually, I tried to give very specific instructions to the AI to try to make it look like the actual preacher who gave the sermon. And his sermon reminded me of a speech that Piccolo gave Goten and Trunks when he's training Majin Buu. That being said, as I look at it now, I can't see anything other than Wilford Brimley. And I don't know if anyone is old enough to remember who Wilford Brimley is. Now I'm just imagining Wilford Brimley and Piccolo are the same person. Makes Namek very interesting. Why is Nail Archie Bunker from... What was the name of that show? All in the Family? Yeah, Nail is now Archie Bunker. And now I'm imagining Super Kami Elder Guru as the really tall guy. You know, the guy who played the Kingpin in the old Daredevil movie back in 2002, where Ben Affleck was Daredevil. I don't remember his name. He's the same guy who played the tall guy in, Green Mile. It was a movie that had Tom Hanks in it. But that guy was huge. He was like super tall. I think he died of a heart attack. I mean, it's terrible. He was a great actor. Really enjoyed his shows. But at the same time, that's usually what happens if you're like a really, really tall person with a ton of muscle. That's so much stress on the heart. But that dude was tall. He was a great Kingpin. He was great in that Daredevil movie. Let's see, what was I talking about? Wilford? All right, well, so who's Kami then? I don't know. Chris Farley? I'm just reimagining all of Dragon Ball Z, but any spot of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z where it's Kami, it's voiced by Chris Farley now. That's... I shouldn't be so entertained by that thought, but I find it fun. It's probably not funny. It's probably not. Main point is I've stopped in a few Catholic churches. They seem nice. It's very different from what I'm used to. So it is a bit of an adjustment. Though I will say this. They don't let you take communion at a Catholic church if you're not a Catholic. So I can't take communion there. I don't have any intention of converting to be a Catholic, but I do have every intention to occasionally keep visiting Catholic churches. They seem nice. It's just... Yeah, no plan. I will say this, if they allowed me to take communion, I would. I made an earlier picture at one point of me having like a sky bedroom. The joke was I'm too poor to afford walls. I mean, honestly, I work a full-time job and the money I don't spend on rent goes to fast food and some video games, and that's it. I basically live paycheck to paycheck. With the little bit extra I get from, so aside from occasionally wanting something as an otaku like a book, which again, I probably won't drive anywhere or buy anything new for a long time just because I really can't afford it. But yeah, it's like, hey, look, I got some plushies and some weights and, hopefully my laptop the monitor doesn't fall off. Though honestly, this computer thing looks really great. This, core, this tower. I don't think I've owned one of those in like a couple decades. Then it was back when like dial-up existed, and heck, I remember when YouTube first started. I really enjoyed Slow Beef and Ultra J-Man and ROM Scout and Freelance Astronauts. Wanted to do Let's Plays, but I couldn't. I just didn't have it just wasn't possible. And I dislike that. And even though I feel my Let's Plays are very low quality, I just enjoy the opportunity to make them. After all, it's not like I'm ever going to make any money off this. Even if I had 1 million subscribers, I'm never going to monetize anything. Grant, I could really use the fucking money. Fuck. But then again, don't we all? I mean, I can't be the only one who's a little bit concerned about the economy at the moment. But at the same time, I'm never going to monetize this channel. I'm never going to have sponsors or merchandise or super chats. I'm never going to get a single cent from this. Now, that being said, this picture asks the important question. Can I be an angel and a cat boy at the same time? And the answer is yes. I also appear to be on fire for some reason. And a tiger. What can I say? This picture, I don't know. Definitely looks athletic. About an hour. This is me just complaining about some previous stuff. Basically, some stuff I think most people would agree with. Like me, I would find Kaoru and Asuka both attractive. So again, most accurate thing, bisexual, but at the same time, never dated a guy, and I'm just generally very antisocial and introverted and withdrawn. Also, I'm kind of too poor to be able to afford to go out and date people. I also kind of, I don't know, probably too emotionally damaged to go out and interact with other humans. I mean, I can just interact with people on the internet and talk to myself. That's fine. Heck, been alone since my divorce, and that's been basically several lifetimes, it feels like at this point, of me just being alone, talking to myself, playing video games, and working. But yeah, the text over there reads, I want whoever I get in a relationship to genuinely like me, to actually love me, to actually love and care about me. You know, lots of emotional intimacy, affectionate, accepting, stable psychologically. I want someone who would never commit domestic violence against me. Also, would be nice if no verbal abuse. Basically, it's like things I want in a relationship. It's like someone I find physically attractive, who finds me physically attractive, who would never commit domestic violence against me or be abusive or cheat on me, and who would genuinely care about me and be affectionate and accepting and loving to me. That being said, I'm more than likely just going to be alone for the rest of the time. So that's fine. And again, this is me with that original picture of a bedroom. Like, hey guys, this is my bedroom. Though I wonder, like, if I slept in this, would I ever like roll out of bed and fall off the building? Would I have like glass there that I can slide and open, like glass doors? What would that view be like during like a rainstorm? Here is a picture of me taking a bath. Heck, I made a couple videos at one point where, you know, I was singing in the shower and recorded that. Though I made a version of my character that had white hair and white eyes. Well, red eyes for the most part. But yeah, here's a picture. Like, granted, my bathroom, I don't know, do you call my glowing crystals natural lighting or what? Here's me and a blanket. I have flowers in my room, apparently. Here I am reading a book. This is a picture of Lunar D8 reading a book on top of a skyscraper. I'm using the sun as a book light. And again, we'll end with this. I like this picture the most. And yeah. But whoever bothered to watch this, let me know what you think about the pictures. And I'll probably try to get back into the Let's Plays and try to sound as happy and cheerful as it can be. And just thanks for hanging out with me. And just thank you. I appreciate it. Later. Bye.